Hi there, and welcome back to Blue Ocean English. This is another lesson in the series called English Food is Awesome. Now I know you're thinking English food is famous all over the world for being bad, but I don't agree. I think real English food is awesome. In fact, it's my mission to show you that English food is awesome. I think the real problem is that English restaurants are bad. They're better now, but in the past, very bad. And this is the food that foreign people eat when they visit England. So the restaurants are bad. You think all our food is bad because you eat bad food. I understand. But here's the thing. If you came to my nan's house and ate the food that she cooked, you would think English food is awesome. So in this series, I'm going to show you how to make lots of fantastic English dishes. And hopefully I can show you some nice words and phrases in English too. Then you can try to make these dishes at home and you'll stop thinking that English food is terrible. You'll start to understand I'm right and English food is awesome. Are you ready? Roast beef and Yorkshire pudding. So this is a very famous meal for English people. For many, many people, this is a typical Sunday dinner and all the family eat together. So it's a very, very common meal on a Sunday for people to have all across the country. We would normally serve roast beef and Yorkshire pudding with 2 or 3 different vegetables like carrots, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, beans, peas, these kind of things. For the ingredients, for the Yorkshire puddings, we're basically making a batter. So we need 350 grams of plain flour, 4 large eggs, 800 milliliters of milk. You might not need that much, but maybe. Some vegetable oil and some salt. And for the beef, you need a piece of beef, or what we call a joint of beef. So it can be sirloin or top rump. A tablespoon of English mustard. English mustard is very strong mustard. A tablespoon of vegetable oil, or you can use duck fat, is very good here. Some black pepper. And then for the potatoes, you need 3 or 4 potatoes for each person that is eating. And they need to be peeled, so take the skin off and then cut them into small pieces. 8 garlic cloves. 5 tablespoons of duck fat. If you can't find duck fat, you can use other types of fat. 8 sprigs of thyme. A sprig is 1 piece of thyme. Some salt. And then for the gravy, you'll need the juice from cooking the beef, so the liquid after cooking the beef, 350 milliliters of red wine, and 4 tablespoons of plain flour. Now let's look at the method. Like a lot of things, cooking roast beef and Yorkshire pudding is all about timing the different food. It all takes different amount of time to cook, so you have to be careful with the timing of it all. So first thing to do is take the beef out of the fridge. You don't want to cook it when it is cold, so we need to make sure it is at room temperature. So first we're going to make the batter for the Yorkshire pudding. We've done this a lot in these lessons, but first you sift the flour into a bowl and use a pinch of salt, and then make a hole in the middle, put the eggs and slowly whisk. This is a whisk in the milk so that you get a thick, like double cream consistency. Cover it with some cling film and then leave it for at least 30 minutes. It's better if you can leave it for 3, 4, 5 hours. When you have everything ready, preheat the oven to 190 degrees centigrade and take the mustard and mix the mustard all over the beef. So rub the beef so that it's covered in the mustard. And then do the same with salt and pepper. So cover the piece of beef with salt and pepper. Then heat the duck fat in a frying pan or whatever fat you're using, or oil, and then add the beef and cook the beef on all sides so that it starts to turn brown all over. So you're not cooking all of the beef, just the outside. So make sure it's brown all over. Then put the beef into a roasting tin. When we cook meat in the oven, we call it roasting. So you roast the beef in the oven for 20 minutes. And then add 20 minutes for every 500 grams of beef. So if it's a 2 kilo piece of beef, you cook it for 20 minutes plus 20 minutes for every 500 grams. So that's 4 times 20 is 80. So you would cook a 2 kilo piece of beef for 100 minutes. And if it's 1 kilo piece of beef, you cook it for 20 minutes plus 2 times 20 minutes. So that's 60 minutes total for 1 kilo. It also depends if you like your beef well done or medium rare. While the beef is cooking, we'll prepare the roast potatoes. So peel the potatoes and then we're going to boil them for a little time in salt water for about 7 minutes until they're almost cooked. Then drain the water away, and then a good tip for you, shake the potatoes so the edges get all damaged and fluffy, and it will be better for cooking the roast potatoes. In the draining object, which we call a colander, drain them in the colander and shake them so that they're all damaged and fluffy. When the beef is ready, take the beef out of the oven and put it on a carving board and cover with foil, and then leave it to rest. So leave it for 30 minutes and then increase the temperature of the oven to 220 degrees centigrade. Put the duck fat into a roasting tin and heat it in the oven for 5 minutes. Then add the potatoes to the tin and the garlic cloves with the thyme and some salt, and mix all of it around so the potatoes are covered with the fat, or we say coated in the fat. Put the tin in the oven and roast the potatoes for 30 to 35 minutes until they're golden colour and crunchy. Next, we'll use the batter to make the Yorkshire puddings. So put a little bit of vegetable oil into each of the pudding tins. This is what we use to make Yorkshire puddings. Then place the tin in the oven so that the oil heats for a few minutes. When the oil is hot, take the tin out of the oven and pour the batter carefully into the tin. Fill it to about halfway. So pour batter until the tin's half full. Then put the tin back in the oven and cook for 25 to 30 minutes next to the roast potatoes. And when they're ready, they will be risen, so they come up and they are a golden colour. Then you can boil the vegetables. They maybe take 12 or 15 minutes, depends what you choose. And then everything is getting ready. You can start to cut the beef, and then we're going to make the gravy. So the gravy is the sauce that we use on top of the dish. Put the tin that you use to roast the beef that is full of the beef juices, put that on the hob and heat on a medium heat, and then add the flour and the wine, and then mix it all very carefully. Get all the nice pieces of beef from the tin, make sure it's all mixed well, and then cook on a low temperature for about 10 minutes, and then add salt and pepper. And then that's everything. You just have to wait for everything to cook, put it all onto a plate and serve, and it will all look like this. So there's the recipe for today. I hope you give this recipe a try and enjoy English food, and you'll begin to realise English food is awesome. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I'll see you again next time. Here we are, just another typical English summer day. Just before I go, it's just me doing everything here at Blue Ocean English. So if you like what I'm doing and you want to see more, please don't forget to leave a comment. Maybe you have an idea for a video or a nice background picture that you'd like to see, or share this video with a friend. The best way for you to say thank you is to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and check out my merchandise, all the nice things you can buy, t-shirts, hats. You can also check out our great books on Amazon. There's 3 phrasal verb books, An Ocean of English phrasal verbs, each book with 200 examples, a lovely picture, and 3 clear examples of how we use each phrase. And then 3 books for idioms. They're called An Ocean of English Idioms. Also 3 books with 600 idioms, 200 in each book, all with a picture and 3 clear examples of how we use each idiom. Thank you very much for watching, and wherever you are, try to feel English today.
Sometimes I feel like throwing my hands up in the air. I know I can count on Sometimes I feel